Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a video about dating as a single parent. So I know I have single fathers who support my channel. I know I have at least two. Then I know I have plenty of single mothers. So whether we have been married and now we're divorced, or we've never been married but we have children in the picture, okay? So dating as a single parent is no joke whatsoever, okay? It's probably one of the hardest things that you're going to go through. But there's 5 things that we need to keep in mind in order to come out successful in this thing, okay? So when I say successful, that means that we're being molded, we're prepared to take the next level or the next step in life, and that's marriage. And I can talk about marriage because I've been married before. So I became a single parent because I got a divorce. And so I've talked a little about that. So I have some experience under my belt when I was talking about this thing called, dating as a single parent. I know what I'm talking about. So first of all, number 1, you have to know yourself. You cannot expect anybody to bring anything to the table if you don't know who you are. Bottom line. And that means you got to know what your likes are. You got to know what your dislikes are in every capacity. Now, knowing who you are is a growth process. So it don't just stop when you become 21 or 25 or 30. But the main ingredients of who you are, you need to know. You need to know, hey, this is the type of person that I am. I'm a truthful person. I'm a Christian. Or you got to know the core of who you are in order to know the core of somebody else, and vice versa. So number 1, know yourself. So when I went through my divorce, and if you've been divorced, you don't know who the hell you are after that process. You're sitting there thinking like, whew. Yeah, especially like, and some people may know who they are after divorce because they may have been separated for quite some time before getting the divorce. But if you're a person who was married and 90 days later you were divorced and you had been married for some time to that person, you don't know who the hell you are. You're trying to figure it out because you've been with this person for a long time or something. So your way of thinking is their way of thinking, or I would say our way of thinking. So you got to learn how to separate yourself from that previous individual before moving on to the next individual. So, and some people jump right into dating, and that's fine. I have no problem with it. But for me, oh no, I wasn't there yet. So knowing yourself is that when you get out of something or relationships, is give yourself time to bounce back to where you need to be. You want to be on solid footing. You don't want to date someone on the rebound, and you don't want somebody dating you on the rebound, because the end result is going to be so hurtful. So learn who you are and take moments by yourself, away from your children, and explore some things. You will really find out some good things about yourself if you just start knowing who you are, exploring, challenge yourself. And I do that all the time. And because it tells me what my strengths are, what my likes are, what my dislikes are. And sometimes things change depending on where I am in life. I may not like a certain thing, but I'm always challenging myself so I can know who I really am. Thing number 2. So second thing is that you have to know what your intentions are when you start dating. So some people they want to date multiple people, and that's fine, but they're not telling the other people what their intentions are. So when you start dating, know the intentions. Know, okay, so when you get out of a relationship and you get out of a marriage, and if you just want to date to go to lunch or to have somebody spend time with or go to the movies or whatever, let that person know what your intentions are. Because if you don't, I mean, their expectations of you may be totally different. That person may be, okay, so if you're female and you're dating a guy, that guy may be a husband in training. That's what I like to call people who are prepared to go to that next level, who are ready for marriage, is that they are a husband in training. I consider myself a wife in training because I've been single long enough to know that God has molded me to accept the fact that I am a wife in training. And so, and that's another video. So yeah, that's another video. But so knowing the intention. So if you just want somebody to spend time with, let them know that you just want somebody to spend time with. You're not looking for anything serious. And if you see it's getting to the point where you're seeing this same person all the time over and over, and you're still saying that you don't want to be in a relationship, you may want to just cut off that type of friendship and move on to something else. Because again, people think that sometimes they can change your mind. So, but if your intentions are, hey, I've been single for a long time, I'm looking to be married again, that's where I want to be, then whoever you meet, let them know that that's your intentions. Rather it scares them away, and if it scares them away, they need to go away. But you say, my intentions at this point in dating is to be married. That you feel like you've come to a point in your life that God has molded you and to be a wife in training, and you're looking for a man who is a husband in training, and at some point that you guys can make a life together. So know your intentions is number 2. So number 3 is step away from these mental lists and these physical lists that we create, because what's on those lists, trust me, is going to end up as a failure on your part and the next person's part. It's going to be a pitfall. A pitfall. It is creating a disaster before it even happens. Because again, if your intentions are to have something solid in your life, a list is not going to do you a world of good, because those things are superficial. And we make these lists of this perfect person that doesn't even exist. You do realize that, right? That a perfect person don't exist. You're not perfect, so why are you looking for Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect? So we have these lists that we want to date someone who's tall, we want to date someone who has long hair, who's beautiful, who's in shape, and this, and make this amount of money, and drive this car, and lives in this type of place. All of that crap means nothing when it comes to the love of your life. I promise you, it's not. If you are a wife in training and your prayer to God is to bring you the husband that you need in your life, and the father that your children need, or the wife that you want in your life, and the mother that you want for your children, that list means absolutely nothing. So get rid of it. And I can tell you from personal experience, I made a list. I'm not even gonna lie. When I got out of my divorce, I was like, blah, 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 blah. I want this, 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 this. I carried that list around and made, at the time we had day timers, and my day timer for a couple of years. And I realized that what was on that list was not the person I was gonna date. I wasn't gonna find Mr. Perfect. I was looking for Mr. Perfect. So throughout that time, I had to get rid of my list. And I had my friend, my best friend from undergrad knew that I had a list. And she would tell me all the time, you know, Cookie, you got to get rid of that list because that's just horrible. So you're putting false expectations on people that you have never even met. So get rid of the list. So number 4. Go sit down.
That tree's over there.
Okay, well go sit down.
Can't see it, but I'm scared of it.
Go sit down. Okay, we'll go sit in a corner.
Yes,
okay, so number 4. And I know you guys don't want to hear this, but I'm gonna tell it to you anyway, is that you have to be prepared, or you have to know that when you start dating or dating as a single parent, it's gonna be a failure at some point. That there's gonna be some unsuccessful attempts when dating, and that's okay. Because if I say you got out of a relationship and you went into something perfect, or you got out of a marriage and went into something perfect, I'm going to say something is really, really wrong with this picture. So you got to be prepared. You have to know that you may fail at this dating thing. It sucks. Do you know how many people out there who have mastered the art of cunning, emotionally cunning other people, whether it's a man or a woman? That exists out there. And two, because we make ourselves so vulnerable when it comes to wanting someone in our lives, and sometimes that's easy to read. So you have to be prepared to fail in relationships, and you have to be prepared to fail as a single parent, and it's okay. It's quite all right. So number 5 is, you guys, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me when I say this. Whew. Protect your children. If you're gonna date, fine. I don't care if you date 10 people at one time, but protect your children. So when you're dating, it's okay if you don't let people around your children. It's okay if you don't even mention your children until you know that this is going somewhere. Yeah, you may say, well, you're a single parent, but you don't have to bring out the 100 pictures on your smartphone, or have to talk about them all the time, or you have to bring everybody that you're dating around your child. I say no, don't do that. Do not bring people that you're just friends with around your children, because kids get so attached to people. And I'm telling you, that when I divorced, and God knows I have like guys that I've dated, or have just like gone to lunch or dinner, movie, something where it didn't mean anything. They never knew anything about my child, because I was just there to eat lunch or dinner, go to a movie, or go to a game, or whatever the case may be, or accompany them somewhere, or they accompany me. But they never met my child, because I knew it was not going anywhere. So why was I going to involve my child? So protect your children, because kids, they're innocent in all of this. And especially like if you've been divorced, and not only that, but you have to be respectful of them, and you still have to be respectful of your family unit. So keep that in mind. And I mean, I wanted to not really use that one as a lesson, but I wanted to say that last, because I don't want people to lose focus when they're saying, oh, I want to date, or I need somebody in my life, and this, because sometimes we set ourselves up for failure, because our priorities are so different, and our main priority, it should be protecting our children from these failed attempts until we are at that wife in training status or the husband status. We don't need to bring our children into that. So protect them, and allow yourself to get into a relationship, a partnership with someone who's going to share the same values, family values that you have. And I tell people all the time that as a single mother, and the way I'm involved in my children's lives, is that I want God to bring me my husband who is going through the same thing I'm going through. And not that he's just a dad, or he gets his kids once a month or twice a month or every 6 months. I want, and I feel like what my children need is a dad, a father who is so involved in his kids' lives that he knows what my needs are as a mother and what my kids' needs are as a child. And I don't have to express, oh, honey, I need this, because he already knows. So we're going to be on the same page emotionally with our child or our children. So protect your children. don't allow them to be part of the pitfalls that we fall into when dating, or these unsuccessful attempts at trying to find the perfect person. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video.